Clearing cargoes at Nigeria's ports continues to be a challenge as human interaction is still the order of the day. The Executive Secretary, CEO of Nigerian Shippers Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, recently visited Port-Harcourt to interact with stakeholders in the eastern seaports. That is the topic on today's episode of The Shipper. Hello and welcome. My name is Rekia Zikru Yagboyaju. We'll take a short break now. When we return, details of the Port-Harcourt visit and tidbits with Oluwasegun Aloko. Don't go away.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as soon as goods they move from Port A go enter Port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nane.
Welcome back. All hands are to the plow to ensure that timelines for clearance of cargo and sanitization of port operations in the interest of all are achieved in the shortest possible time. What with Nigeria expressing determination to enjoy the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement (AFTA). To this end, the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, commissioned the Port Standing Task Team in Port-Harcourt, the River State capital.
I count myself as being privileged, and given that before now I've been a field officer in where I work, and I think we are prepared to go. Nothing is going to be strange to us. It's about field office and about ensuring that the principle of transparency and integrity is maintained at the port. The same thing similar to what we do in the office, fighting corruption and ensuring transparency and accountability.
Additional Abiodun reports that the task team will cover ports in the southeast and the south-south region of the country. Lucy Ulugbe has the rest of the story.
Port operations in this part of the country are characterized by unnecessary delay in the clearance of goods, inspection of vessels marred by bureaucratic procedures, and disorderly conduct. All of these necessitated the revamping of the entire clearance procedures, which culminated into a repackaging of the processes into a document called the Nigerian Port Process Manual (Nppm). Hence, the commissioning of the Port Standing Task Team by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, which took place in the River State capital, Port-Harcourt.
Council, our mandate clearly is to ensure that there's efficiency in the service delivery in our maritime space, and to also ensure that at the same time that efficiency is delivered at minimum cost. These are the twin responsibilities that we have as council. that maritime space that we all desire, that we all wish, which, as I said, is a space that really can be very, very competitive because it has been able to deliver services that can compare with other maritime spaces elsewhere in the world. That is the dream, that is the objective.
He disclosed that the team would monitor activities at the ports on a daily basis and work assiduously to ensure the implementation of Nppm. The Executive Secretary urged them to avoid corrupt tendencies capable of making them inefficient and ineffective.
Let me also sound some note of caution. This maritime industry thrives on its commercial activities. And in a commercial environment, as much as possible, we have to understand there are negotiations that must take place for certain things to be done. It is only when negotiation has failed that it becomes necessary that sometimes maybe sanctions may be visited. Therefore, I believe that the way that this thing is structured is for all of the agencies, your parent agencies, to undertake first and foremost the internal mechanism of negotiating at the commercial level. Once we are done and we are not able, to get to a resolution that everybody is happy with, where sanctions are necessary, where enforcement becomes way beyond our capacity, that is when escalation is done to you. At that point, believe me, we will sit back, give you all the support so that you can forcefully go in there and assist in the enforcement that needs to be done. So there is going to be an ongoing partnership, a continuing partnership between, in our case, the Shippers Council, and I believe all the other agencies that are also putting this team together so as to give you, the necessary support to be able to carry out your work.
The Coordinator General of the Port Standing Task Team, Moses Fadipe, urged all members of the team to avoid unfair practices, adding that they have the support of the police to succeed in their task.
I've told you severally, our leading the team does not confine superiority on us, but there must be somebody for direction. It's an all-important assignment from the presidency in Abuja. You might look at it, you are privileged, and that's the honest truth, to be part of this team. If national honors are coming, it comes your way. So, if you have flair for money, because some of you have never seen dollars, or you have never been in the port industry, and by the time they give you $, you say, Aboki, how much? They say $570, $10, $5,000. Your ears will be like this. Even ordinary somebody sending a recharge card to you, you drop from that thing. And I once told you, in Lagos, we've done a lot of shoveling. There are monitors among the monitors. Drum it into your ears. There are monitors among the monitors. What do I say? There are monitors among the monitors. So let it sink deep. And if there's a report from your coordinator to your agency, you know the meaning of that. Most of you from the operatives, it's a privilege for you to be part of this thing. So please, please and please, do not abuse the privilege.
The NSC boss met with some stakeholders operating at the eastern ports. Present at the meeting were Nigeria Customs Service, Nigerian Immigration Service, Port Health Service, Nigeria Police, freight forwarders, shippers, and Nigerian Ports Authority. He told the gathering that the council was not aware of their problems on the job, namely high demurrage, arbitrary charges by shipping companies, deplorable access roads, and multiple checkpoints. He assured the stakeholders of the council's resolve to engage shipping companies and terminal operators to seek ways of addressing arbitrary charges.
In our capacity as a port economic regulator, The Shippers Council would continue to support projects and programs that will improve port efficiency, reduce the cost of doing business at the port, and simplify processes and procedures for the clearance of goods in our ports. For a long time, the Shippers Council has been preaching for harmony between providers and users of port services. We have also been engaged in the business of advocating for automation of port processes and procedures in line with best practices and to encourage transparency in the manner of doing business in this industry.
Emmanuel Jime also disclosed that the federal government has approved the reintroduction of international cargo tracking notes at the ports. There were reactions to the executive secretary of the NSC's presentation. Stakeholders sought clarifications on some issues such as arbitrary charges and high demurrage, multiple checkpoints by law enforcement agents at the ports, and lack of holding bay for containers at eastern ports.
Today, he made it clearly that his windows and doors are open to hear from us. We have been inundated with so many complaints from our members operating in the eastern ports. Basically, we are freight forwarders, but we are supposed to be a very pivotal chain in the progress of doing business in Nigeria. But the operational circumstances, the weather around our profession is so cloudy and doomy that we don't operate well the way we are supposed to do. Our deliveries have been clumsy because of the challenges we face every day. So I am particularly happy that the Executive Secretary has arrived to Port-Harcourt and have had us.
The seminar, I could say it's all about the maritime stakeholders coming to air their views on the challenges they're having, which we are part of it.
First and foremost, we appreciate this gathering today because it's a gathering that we have been expecting based on the challenges we're having at One Seaport. So I believe that after today, like the ES have promised, let him work down the modality to see how we can have a free playground in One, where things will be done seamlessly.
I think Nigerian Shippers Council needs to rise up to her responsibility. You know, sometimes you need to really wear the long arm of the law. Let people know that you can buy it. Some people believe, especially the terminal operators, and that is why they do have a lot of impunity there. They do a whole lot of things and they think that nobody can do anything to them. So it behoves on the Nigerian Shippers Council to rise up to the responsibility. They are a regulatory body, not only advocacy. Not only advocacy. That's why we have two sides of the law. We have the area of advocacy and we have the area of punishment, or the way you need to apply the punishment. Now, but this for over years, we've been having a situation where people flout the law, people do all manner of things, and because they are not punished for it, they keep doing it. So we want the Nigerian Shippers Council to rise up to their responsibility.
The Executive Secretary urged stakeholders to take advantage of the Council's online feedback and complaints mechanism, Port Service Support Portal (PSSP), to lodge their complaints and assure them of prompt response.
In terms of the challenges that are faced in the Port-Harcourt axis, it is not any different from what challenges we have in the Lagos axis as well. Almost everything that is challenging our ability to deliver services, qualitatively in the Lagos port area is replicated. In some cases, maybe even worse in the Port-Harcourt axis. For example, I used to think that the gridlock that we face on the road leading into Apapa is perhaps the only gridlock in Nigeria. No, the gridlock from Port-Harcourt to One, that is the One junction before you enter, the One port. At least from the day I experienced it, is worse than the gridlock that I've seen here in Lagos. And obviously, everybody in this industry will tell you the time that is wasted, which ultimately results into high cost of doing business in our ports. That is partly as a result of this gridlock that we're facing here. So that we have it replicated in Port-Harcourt will give you a bird's eye view of the real challenge that we're having, which is part of the reason why the Nigerian ports up till now have not become the very attractive destination for businesses in much the same way as even a small country like Ghana, is experiencing. So I think that my visit to Port Harcourt opened my eyes to the fact that there is really no fundamental difference in terms of the challenges that our ports are facing, and that the time has come for us to aggressively begin to look at solutions as to how do we ensure that the Nigerian maritime space is comparative, to at least West African neighbors. If we're not going to aim to be at the standard of, world ports, then certainly within our sub-region, especially here in West Africa, there is no reason whatsoever why we are not, top-notch as far as maritime operations are concerned.
Failure is not an option. Stakeholders have pledged their cooperation, and there is no reason to believe that they will not stand by their promise. It's now time to welcome a well-rested Oluwasegun Aloko, who has been on vacation, back to Tidbits.
Welcome to the Tidbits segment of the foremost maritime program on television, The Shipper. I am Oluwasegun Aloko. The North Central Zone of the Council, in collaboration with Kogi State Chapter and Kogi State Commissioner for Agriculture, Honorable David Akpe, have held a meeting to discuss challenges associated with exports from Kogi State and also constitute an implementation committee of experts to implement resolutions reached at the meeting. It's time to bring you up to speed with happenings in the global maritime sector. Ocean Network Express 1 has unveiled a new service connecting Korea and Central South China to Straits. The new weekly Korea-China Straits service, launching from Busan, will enhance the coverage of intra-Asia markets, bringing more options and greater flexibility to one's valued customers. This is one's very first dedicated Korea and Central South China to Strait service, which provides a competitive transit time from port to port. Port rotation for the service will be Busan, Shanghai, Xiamen, Singapore, Port Klang, Pasir Kudang, Lam Chambang, Shiku, and Busan. The United Arab Emirates government has launched new maritime cluster as it seeks to double the $24.77 billion US sector in few years. The UAE Maritime Cluster is being launched by the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure as an umbrella covering local and federal governments and private organizations in the sector. The announcement of the new cluster was timed to coincide with the World Maritime Day in September, and it aims to promote the UAE maritime sector globally and support the role of building alternative parts of the economy to the oil sector. In another development, Singapore authorities have jailed 9 members for what they described as a criminal syndicate for terms ranging from 35 months to 2 weeks for using industrial strength magnets to tamper with the meters on 2 bunker tankers to cheat buyers of $336,930, which is about 139 million naira worth of marine fuel oil. The mass flow meters were tampered with on the bunker tankers Southern Peg 6 and Southern Peg 7, and the syndicate's operation were discovered in April 2019 during enforcement checks by the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. Here is a reminder to all regulated service providers, such as terminal operators, barge operators, shipping companies, freight forwarders, and clearing agents, amongst others, to register with the Council. Failure to do so will attract penalties. Registration can be done via the website www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. And now, our complaint register for the week. A total number of 4 complaints were received, and they are all ongoing investigations. Some of these complaints include container demurrage dispute, port delays, and exploitative charges. The Council has been playing a mediatory role in many complaint cases to ensure recovery, remedy, or indemnification as the case may be. Here is a letter from Kasano Agency Services appreciating the Council for facilitating the recovery of its money from APMT. We wish to use this medium to show appreciation for enabling us to recover our money, which have been hanging with APMT since June 2020. Once again, thank you very much, and keep it up as we anticipate your usual cooperation. And that's it on Tidbits for this week.
From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency, and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
And that's it on The Shipper for this week. We urge all regulated service providers to register with Nigerian Shippers Council on www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. Thanks for watching and have a swimmingly great week ahead. Goodbye.